Share with you a little bit of a wake-up call that I had, that really drove home this joy deficit and how it was screwing up my life. How it was and how reclaiming that joy really changed everything for me. After my second divorce, I moved into a modest little apartment with my 2 daughters, Emmy and Livy. Just the 3 of us. Well, the 3 of us and 3 cats and a dog, trying to figure out what our new normal was gonna look like. I was doing what I thought a good father should do, providing, organizing, solving problems, trying to get through the boxes, and make sure that at least they had at least 1 meal a day. Making sure the bills were paid was hard during that time, just trying to keep up. The girls had what they needed, the logistics of shared custody. We handled them, we managed them. I was being as responsible as I could, solid, dependable, all the things that a man's supposed to be, right? Something was missing. And my youngest daughter, Livy, she called me out on it in a way that I'll never forget. We were about a week into living in this new place. And the new place stuff, everything is not in its place and it feels strange. It doesn't feel like home. And every single night, I'd served frozen pizza every night for like a week. Frozen pizza. It was efficient, it was easy, it was cheap. The girls weren't complaining, well, not much anyway. But on day 7, Libby looked at her plate and then at me and said, "Dad, if I eat one more piece of pizza, I'm going to turn into one." That hit me like a punch to the gut. Not because serving frozen pizza for a week made me a bad dad, but because I realized that in that moment, I was approaching fatherhood and manhood like it was just a series of problems to solve. I was going through the motions, I was checking the boxes, I was making sure that basic needs were met, but there was no joy in it. Not for them, definitely not for me. That night, I suggested that we try something different. I pulled out a beginner's cookbook that I'd been giving, I don't know, a housewarming. I was given it for a housewarming gift, and it was a proposed family cooking adventure. Okay, that's what I was trying to do with my kids that night. We decided to make spaghetti and meatballs together. What followed was an absolute chaotic experience. Emmy spilled the sauce all over the counter. Livy got more cheese on the floor than in the bowl. I somehow mistook sugar for salt. I mean, and again, this was like finding the ingredients in all these boxes that were still cluttering around our apartment. This resulted not in a good meal at all. It resulted in the sweetest meatballs you've ever tasted. But here's the thing. We were laughing. I'm laughing now just remembering that day, really laughing for the first time in months. There was joy in our home. Not because I was trying to be a perfect provider or a flawless father, but because I had to let go of my rigid ideas about what strength looks like and allow myself to be fully present, fully human, fully capable of experiencing messy joy cooking with my girls. One evening after a particularly successful taco night where only about half the toppings ended up on the floor, Libby looked up at me with a grin and she said, "Daddy, you're actually getting good at this cooking thing." And in that moment, I felt something like I hadn't experienced in years, pure, unfiltered joy.